You've just finished having sex. What do you say to make it awkward?
I see a lot of joke responses here. So to make it a bit real. So, what are we? One time I had a girl tell me I was like a brother to her after sex.
Uber or Lyft?
You and your neighbor are constantly annoying each other. You have discovered an ant that obeys your every command and cannot die. Using your ant, how do you subtly irritate your neighbor to no end?
Constantly tell him about my aunt. Call him about it. Knock on his door. Bring it to him. He will love it and whether he likes it or not.
Breed it with a fire ant. Hopefully those invincible genes pass down to the offspring. Build up a colony of indestructible ants and unleash them upon all his furniture.
I trained Tyrone to guide all the other normal ants to follow and fuck with my neighbor, such as eating away his shoelaces, eating away cables, and then eating away his face while he sleeps.
You have just been cheated out of $1,000 for a stupid brick. How do you take revenge?
Beat the shit out of myself with the brick for being that dumb.
Use the same pattern on some poor sod who's as gullible as me and get my money back. It's like a pyramid scheme but with a vertical tower instead.
Start a GoFundMe about a homeless brick that was caught on camera giving its only slice of pizza to another person. Take the money, destroy brick so it doesn't sue you.
If English becomes a dead language like Latin, what English sentences will be quoted by intellectuals who want to look smart?
On a serious note, it takes one to know one seems to me to be a phrase that could be used after English is dead.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
This too shall pass.
What is a cheap hobby to pick up in college?
Going to conferences/classes/ networking events outside of your discipline. Makes you a lot sharper between the ears. Reading. Just because you didn't like reading classic lit in high school doesn't mean there aren't great books for you out there. Get a library card and go to town.
What is the most painful thing someone has ever told you?
In tears, I heard about your dad. I'm so sorry. I hadn't heard about my dad.
You are physically incapable of ever lying again, but you get $10 million. Do you take it? And why or why not?
Of course. Not being able to lie isn't the same thing as having to tell the truth. If someone asked me something that I didn't want to answer, I could just say I don't want to talk about that.
I would. I'm so utterly terrible at lying that I don't do that anyways.
I think I could die my way around it. Speak no word that is not true and all that.
What's the longest you went without bathing?
5 days while in the hospital. When I was 16 I couldn't wash my hair for 6 months due to a hole in my skull. Washing my hair for the first time after reconstructive surgery was the best feeling ever.
35 days. Thanks Army.
Probably a week and a half. Eventually you could smell my balls even when I was wearing clothes.
K-12 teachers of Reddit. What is a story of a student you had who went on to surprise you with how much they later succeeded or failed in life? What's the best thing you can still buy for $1? Or local equivalent?
Have you ever been to a dollar store? There is so much available for just $1.
A can of Arizona iced tea.
Retail workers of Reddit. What was your get the fuck out experience with a customer? You are given a brick and told to sell it for $1,000. If you succeed you get $1 million. You cannot tell anyone your goal. What is your plan?
Tell them it was part of the Berlin Wall. There are some people willing to pay more than expected for anything.
$1,000 and I'll throw this brick through any window you want.
Go to Maine, sell it for $1,000 but the buyer gets a free gift of $1,000 worth of pot. And there you have how Mainers get around the recreational weed selling laws.
What documentary would you recommend to someone who thinks documentaries are boring?
The Barkley Marathons, the race that eats its young. Really interesting and entertaining.
Cocaine Cowboys. It's so fast-paced that it's hard to lose interest.
What can the average person do to have the most positive impact on the world?
Don't be a dick. Yes, the bar is that low right now. Make sure you don't miss the big empty circle known as a toilet when you're at work, you sick puppies.
What item seems way overpriced to you and why?
In Brazil, all electronics are overpriced due to high unnecessary taxes. Like, the iPhone 10 came here costing 10,000 Brazilian real. In tax-free conversion, this would be $3,000 US. Stadium food. Thank you Atlanta Falcons.